Parashat Behar, I would like to discuss a couple of ideas, actually 3 ideas in Parashat Behar. Nothing particularly profoundly groundbreaking, just simple concepts that give us an orientation and a reminder for what is going on. So, to that end, we start with the mitzvah of Shemitta, and I always think that it's a good idea to ask what is the effect of performing a certain mitzvah. So with Shemitta, the idea of letting the land lie fallow, of course, has an obvious agricultural benefit, and that is paralleled and echoed in many of the ancient civilizations, even that predate the Torah, and there is an obvious benefit to following the mitzvah in that by following the mitzvah, by letting the land lie fallow on the 7th year, we will improve the land going forward. So ultimately, there's a practical, tangible benefit to produce and production. I'm going to leave that to one side and focus on more of the religious elements. So the first benefit I think is important to focus on is just the chesed and the tzedakah that accompanies the Shemitah year. As the Torah tells us in Kaf Hey Vav, in Vayikra Kaf Hey Vav, that by leaving all of the produce in the field and open to everyone, by not taking it in and harvesting, but leaving it in the field, it is open to everyone, and that equalizes society, providing for the needs of those who would otherwise not have provisions. As it says, V'hayta Shabbat ha'aretz lachem la'achla lacha, and importantly, U'la'avdecha v'la'amatecha it's for everyone, and it continues even for the animals. That every field is open to everyone who needs to come and take. Doesn't matter if you own it, doesn't matter if you don't own it, doesn't matter where you are in the societal structure, there is provision for you. And that is pushing society closer to that ideal of chesed and tzedakah and looking after everyone. And not only does it push society in that direction, but hopefully it is a reminder to the owners of the field that ultimately, and this gets on to the second thing, that everything they have been given is in trust to them, and it's their obligation to distribute at least a portion of it going forward. So the tzedakah is for that year, but it also inculcates it in the owners of the fields. And as I said, that takes us on to the second thing, that ultimately the fields are not theirs, and that is expressed explicitly in regards to the whole end of the discussion. After it discusses Shemitah and Yovel, the Torah tells us that God says as following, Ki li haaretz, as we see in Kaf Hey Kaf Gimel, Ki li haaretz, for the land is mine, Ki gerim v'toshavim atem imadi. By not working the land, by allowing the land to be available for everyone, we remind ourselves that we didn't create the world. We didn't create the fields. Ultimately, we didn't create the circumstances that gave us the fields, and we certainly didn't create the fertility of the field, the ability for the field to produce, and even with all of our hard work, so much of it is a gift, and it's a gift from God. And it reminds us that ultimately everything is on loan to us, which is a profound and deep religious concept. And therefore everything is a gift, and everything is something that we can be grateful for, which reminds us, of course, of the declaration over the Bikurim that we read also on a part of, at least the initial parts, on Leil HaSeder, but it continues the declaration of the Bikurim. We say, when we present the Bikurim, we say, V'ata hinehi veiti et reshit pri ha'adama asher natata li Adonai, v'enachto lifnei Adonai lecha, v'ishtachavita lifnei Adonai lecha, v'samachta b'chol hatov asher natan lecha Adonai lecha. That this idea is that we have so much to be grateful for, that God gave us everything we have and everything we own. And by letting the land lie fallow, we remind ourselves that it is not something that is ultimately coming from us, it's something that comes from God, and deepens our relationship with God in terms of that acknowledgement and that gratitude. The third concept, which is actually discussed by Yovel, I'll quote the pasuk here, Kaf Hey Kaf Aleph, when we ask, how can the Yovel work? Meaning we're going to stop working the land for so long, what about our produce going forward? And we hear this concept that God is giving us extra blessings. I'll put my special bracha in the 6th year so that the land will produce more. And of course, that applies here too, in a slightly different way, but by stepping back from the land, by just trusting that we will have enough, both in the Shemitta year and the beginning of the following year, we are trusting God. Not only do we see everything as a gift from God, but we trust His continued involvement in our lives and in our sustenance, the acknowledgement that He is the Hazan et HaKol, both in gratitude and in trust. So we have chesed, we have acknowledgement of the gifts that Hashem has given us, and the inculcation of bitachon, that Hashem will be with us going forward. And those are beautiful concepts which are instilled in the people of Israel in the observance of Shemitta. I wish everyone Shabbat Shalom.